Hello, welcome once again to our Chaia series of reflections on faith, life, and light. We are now on episode 18 of our series, and this time we focus our attention on the story of Jacob trying to escape from the wrath of his brother Esau. You know what happened previously. Yes, Esau is his elder brother, whom Jacob has cheated of the precious blessing from their father Isaac. Yes, he is the one demanding food from his brother Jacob, while Jacob took advantage of this by demanding that he first give up his birthright before he can be fed with that bowl of stew and bread. So you can understand the intensity of anger, rage, and desire to take revenge on the part of Esau because he felt he was cheated of his birthright and cheated out of the blessing from his father. Thus, Jacob, now a fugitive, being hunted for his life by his brother Esau, and at the same time being tormented by his own conscience, has to flee as instructed by his mother Rebekah, giving the excuse to his father Isaac that he has to go to the region of Padan Aram in Syria, to his mother's relatives there to find a wife. That's the excuse. And so Jacob left their place in Beersheba and went north toward Haran. After some time, Jacob arrived at a certain place where he has to spend the night. He took one stone and placed it under his head and lay down to take his rest for the night. But then he had a dream. He dreamed of heaven with a stairway reaching down to earth, and he saw the angels or messengers of God descending and then ascending on it. And then in an instant, he saw God standing right beside him. Right in his dream, Jacob has this vivid encounter with God, who directly talked to him and reiterated to him the promise given to his grandfather Abraham and to his father Isaac, that the land on which he now lies will be given to him and his descendants, who will be like the dust of the earth. And they will be a people that will spread abroad in all directions, and that most of all, all the families of the earth, all the nations shall find blessing in him and in his descendants. From Jacob will come forth a nation through whom other nations will receive blessing or will be blessed themselves. This is a powerful, very intentional reaffirmation of the original promise given to Abraham. It is just amazing, though, that the one who will carry out the fulfillment of this history-making promise is one who is a fugitive, one who is running away from the wrath of his own brother, one who cheated his way to get the blessing of his father, and who took advantage of the hunger of his own brother to deprive him of his birthright. The chosen bearer of God's promise is one who is least qualified to receive and fulfill it at all. And Jacob received the reiteration of this promise not in his wakeful moment, but in his dream. For as we can see, his wakeful moments, when he is so much awake, in his most conscious moments, These are moments filled with fear, with much anxiety. Those are moments when he thinks nothing but to escape, to run away from his brother. But now, in his moment of sleep, where he is most vulnerable and helpless, God comes to him to talk to him about the validity of the promise he gave in the past and the hope for the future that he would now be actualizing, all in his dream. We may not know it, but some dreams may also be life-changing. Dreams may also be the very means by which God can reach down to us, to confront us, to reassure us, and empower us for the future that he is preparing for us. Nothing to do with the Freudian theory about dreams and dream interpretation, saying that dreams are just but the fulfilling of disguised and repressed desires and emotions and aspirations. Well, it could have something to do with the repressed fear and anxiety of Jacob. But the story has something more important, more profound to say than that. It all has to do with faith and our openness to a new future, when our wakeful and conscious reality may just be too scary, too despairing for us to face, that we just want to run away and escape from it. God can also confront us, even in our dreams. God can also call us and send us out through our dreams, where our hopes and aspirations for a meaningful future can still be given realistic articulations in spite of our fears and anxiety during our wakeful moments. We can still receive empowerment from God through dreams. And most of all, we can receive forgiveness from God, even through dreams. And so Jacob received from God not just a reiteration of the promise given to Abraham and Isaac. He also received something beyond the promise of land, posterity, and blessing for others through him. He received God's promise of being always with him. As it says in the text, know that I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. And I will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Jacob received an assurance from God, never before mentioned to his fathers Abraham and Isaac. God will always be with him and keep him, protect him wherever he goes. And God will never leave him until God has done what has been promised. We too can receive the great assurance that God will always be with us wherever we go. That great Emmanuel message is already here, right in the story of this fugitive Jacob. I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. God is with Jacob, this fugitive, escaping from the wrath of his cheated brother, and God is with those who are so undeserving, so unqualified. This is why this announcement to Jacob in his dream opens wide the door to many other undeserving Jacobs like us, those who may have done some cheating, those who may have manipulated and exploited even those so close to them, those who may have taken advantage of the weak and vulnerable. Right in our dreams, God can reach down to confront us, forgive us, change us, and then empower us for mission to be channels of blessing to all others we meet. That is why Jacob woke up so filled with awe and wonder. He does not know how to immediately respond to this amazing thing done to him by God, except to build a memorial altar there at the place of his dream, which we now call Bethel or house of God, and to make a covenant promise and commitment to give back a tithe of everything that God has given him, although not without the same spirit of bargaining by this guy, that if God will truly be with him, keep him, protect him all the way, and provide him for his food to eat and clothing to wear, then indeed the Lord shall truly be Jacob's only God, as symbolized by the pillar he set up there, and that he will freely give back a tenth of every blessing he will receive from God. You see, this guy is still quite a bargaining type of guy. He will always negotiate. So Jacob comes out a changed man, but not a fully changed man. He will still bear with him the traits of that old manipulative, trickster, sly person that has been there at the beginning. But this time, there is now the big difference. This time, this man, Jacob, still imperfect as he is, still with all his faults, is now a person in whom the presence of God dwells, who is being kept and protected by God, and who will be God's instrument in fulfilling God's plans for the rest of the nations that he created and cared for. No one comes out completely changed, completely transformed, as we can see how the story unfolds in the rest of the narrative. How he also played some tricks with his own father-in-law, Laban, even as he was also tricked big time by Laban in his first marriage to Leah, the elder daughter of Laban. There will always remain traces of the old creature, but God is the one doing the rest in carving out the kind of life Jacob and those of us who can relate with him, that God had really intended for him. The life and journey of Jacob will continue, just like the life and faith journeys of many of us. We can have experiences of real, profound, spiritual encounter with God. We feel we're so moved, so transformed by his presence and power. But in the end, we continue with our life journey where we will continue to be tested, and the battle versus right and wrong will continue along the way. Even then, God can still use us as channels of his blessing for us, no matter how undeserving, how imperfect we may be. Thank you very much. If you have been blessed by this reflection, please do like and subscribe, or even share with others as we continue on with our series, still here in Genesis. And next time, it will still be about Jacob in Genesis chapter 32. This is about his wrestling with God. Very exciting. So please read on and see you next time.